my biggest concern. Like these kids are all minors, you
Yeah.
know, and I'm seeing that there's a, they preach tolerance, and the only thing I'm seeing here is a tolerance for bad behavior on the part
Hmm.
of the board, you know, and quite ironically, an intolerance to corrective behavior, and
Accountability.
yeah, and I'm seeing, this like diversity, inclusion, equity. I'm seeing like they are including children in this sexuality normalization, right? They think it's great to have a, diversity, adults and kids. And I've seen like all kinds of books, where they're promoting this, equitable. And my understanding from equity, I ride bikes pretty competitively, and equal outcome would be if I'm training hard on my bike and somebody else is not training as hard, one of two things can happen. Either I'm biking with my brakes on, so we can both finish at the same time. That way I'm slowing down, or he's getting a boost on his bike, riding a motorcycle, so he can keep up. That way we're both finishing. And having that said, I think the same way equitable, like you see these children, they're all underage, and the way that they want to make it equitable is they just pretend like they're adults and that they can consent, right? Just bump them up to and treat them like adults when in fact they are not adults, and they need to be protected from this.
Yeah.
So I really think, there is a huge inversion, and these vices are, from my understanding, it's almost like they're virtues, like we're protecting kids with these books. These books are saving lives. And it's just anybody that has kids knows. And I'm hearing a lot of the younger trustees who have no kids, we need to educate parents and stuff. And I'm just thinking like, hold up, enough with the education and re-education. This stuff it's just poor behavior, and it's got to change.
Yeah, I always say that compassion without morality is a weakness, not not a virtue to be cultivated. That's the problem. Is people think that compassion is all good. We need to have compassion for everyone. I don't have any compassion for pedophiles. I don't care for them. They can't finish the rest of their life in jail without food. Seriously, I won't even care. You know what I mean? So maybe I go to the extreme. But you know what I mean in regards to the food.
So I was just going to say, I think that like people, I mean, you and I and David know where you're coming from, but someone, maybe a viewer who's watching this,
yeah.
I mean, once we start talking about pedophiles, then, oh, this is far right. This is, fear mongering. There is the space of those individuals who are just trying to do good. There's the space of the people in the schools that really believe that this is for the greater good of children. And so Pierre, you're probably beyond that. You're like, no, I think everyone is doing this. Is that what you're saying? Like, do you think that?
No, my point is, I'm not saying that they all bad. I'm saying that, I went to the extreme with I wanted to explain that compassion without morality is not a virtue to be cultivated. So I took the examples of the pedophile. I have no compassion for pedophile. I'm not comparing teacher to pedophile. That's not the point. I'm saying that that we cannot have compassion for not everything. Deserve compassion.
Not everything is shameless. Not everything is shameless, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Like we're to the point. I don't know if people understand, but we're to the point where people can actually identify as a pedophile. Like they can identify as someone who is sexually attracted to kids, and that's their right. Like that's okay. As if like we don't need to feel shame about that anymore, because some people feel that and therefore it's normalized, and therefore you don't need to feel badly and you need to be able to accept it. And it's like with everything else that's happening right now.
Yeah, it's just This,
So what you're referring to, the term that they use is minor attracting persons.
That's right. Yeah.
So they're trying to basically make this behavior more acceptable, and the justification around it is, like, I was born this way and I really love kids and I want to empower them as well. Like, once again, we're getting to this abuse is looked as a form of empowerment. And I do believe a predator does feel empowered over a victim, because there's a huge power dynamic between adults and minors. And I don't know how prevalent this stuff is right now, but I do know that we are on a slippery slope. We're heading fast into this direction where love is love and consent is something that even a child could give. I've seen this stuff in schools, where they're trying to allow children, for example, to make their own decisions regarding the vaccines. They'll have a vaccine clinic, or regarding their gender. You don't need the consent of the parent. As a matter of fact, they'll even hide that information from the parents. We have it in the school policies as well. So I think we are moving in this direction with the minor attracting people becoming more normalized. And I don't care what phobia they come up with. I don't care what justification and whatever they try to bring in. It doesn't even matter to me. Like, I already know exactly where I stand on this issue.